Hashem Yahushai, double honest that I was an apostle of James who well, shalom to the elect. Now this new prime minister, this actually took an effect before this new prime minister, but what they've been doing, and they've been doing this since April this year. They've created new police and laws to basically ban protests. They've tightened what it means to protest. Before it was a lot more broad. Now what they're saying is willful obstruction of the highway is a criminal offence where someone without lawful authority or excuse intentionally obstructs the free passage of vehicles along a road. Now, this is what was happening recently with these people who are just lining the road and stopping people. And now, if you stop this, if you stop, if you obstruct the commercialism or the consumer um the well, if you basically obstruct people from making money, you know what I mean. You're protesting. It is classed as illegal under the new anti-protest laws. Say what's changed. The Policing Act creates a new punishment for this offence. If you're found guilty of willful obstruction of the highway, you now face up to 51 weeks in prison or unlimited fine or both. The previous sentence was a fine not exceeding level 3 on a standard scale up to £1,000. The offence applies even if the road in question had already been closed by the police or another relevant authority. So even if the road is closed and you're protesting on a closed road, they can still fine you. Hey, this man is he's wicked, you know. What's changed? Creates a risk or causes serious harm to the public or a section of the public or prevents the public or a section of the public from exercising their rights to buy and consume. You're only guilty of the offence if you intend your behavior to have this consequence or you are reckless as to whether it has this consequence. By reckless, it usually means you were taking unjustified risks. It typically consists of either causing an environmental nuisance or danger, such as doing something which was very noisy or smelly or behaving offensively or dangerously in public, such as having a noisy party or hanging from a bridge, which is ridiculous. It also goes into intimidating. So this is a broad stroke what they're doing, and if you're out there, preaching on the highways and byways, this will definitely class into it, because if you're making noise and you're intimidating and you're making a noise to the point where it's affecting businesses, or business say that the noise you're making is affecting them and people coming in is making them feel uncomfortable, it's classed as illegal under these new anti-protest laws. And this goes right into Psalms 94:20. uh I'm gonna start 20. Shall the throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee, which frameth mischief by a law? So he makes things illegal by law, even if they're not illegal. You talking, speaking in public, if it offends somebody, he'll make that illegal, and that's framing mischief by a law. They gather themselves together against the soul of the righteous and condemn their innocent blood. And I'm not saying it's right to chain yourself to a road or to other people or to a post and stop people from going about their business, but come on, throwing people in jail and finding them, all of this is it's excessive. But the Lord is my defense, and my power is the rock of my refuge, and he shall bring upon them their own iniquity, and shall cut them off in their own wickedness. Yeah, the Lord our power shall cut them off. See, Esau has all these little plans in his head that he thinks he's gonna get away with all of this stuff that he's doing, but he's not gonna get away with it. And you can clearly see what's going on around the world, that this is coming to a swift close. Even that same Liz Truss woman, she's talking about how they wanna look into fracking, and she's saying we don't know the effects of fracking, and the US has been fracking for years. So how do you not know the effects when there's a history of other people doing it? And it says here, because this is what they really want to talk about, is about the energy crisis in the UK, what they're calling it, which is a crisis of your own doing, because you went and started beef with Russia, and then all of that caused an increase in gas prices. So you really caused this, and you knew it was going to happen. These people act like they didn't know it's going to happen. They knew it was going to happen, just like these people knew that this crisis was coming. So they've implemented these laws because they know people are going to protest, because the cost of living isn't the cost of living isn't isn't matched by the salary and the wages that people are getting. Your salary doesn't match the cost of living increase. So everything's going up by 20, 30, 40%, and your wage is the same. So of course people are going to be protesting and rioting and striking and all of this stuff. It makes sense, and they implemented these laws way before this even happened, when things weren't really that bad. You know what I mean? So it was already in effect before this stuff happened, and now they're bringing in these fracking laws. And if people want to protest against these fracking laws, they're just going to get locked up. You know, this man's heart is deep, and he sits and he meditates on wickedness. What effects does fracking have on the US economy? The US fracking revolution has caused revolution. Has caused natural gas prices to drop 47% compared to what price would have been prior to the fracking revolution in 2013. Gas bills have dropped 13 billion per year from 2007 to 2013 as a result of increased fracking, which adds up to 200 per year for gas consuming households. Now you got to think these people might have saved billions. Sometimes they make trillions, not with this necessarily, but with other things. And these people, they make millions of it, hundreds of millions, billions. You know, they pocket millions in bonuses, and you save £200 per year for a household. You know what I mean? This is how wicked this man is. He'll earn billions off it, and he'll give you $200, and then he acts like he's doing you a favor. Oh, you save so much, you know, like, come on, it's negligible. And when you look into the effects of fracking, the $200 or pounds that you're saving per year isn't even worth it. Fracking has been blamed for leaking millions of tons of methane, a greenhouse gas more potent than carbon dioxide. Fracking is also associated with other airborne hydrocarbons, which can cause health and respiratory issues. Fracking uses large amounts of water, which can become contaminated and affect local groundwater. So if they're fracking near a lake or body of water, which is used to in these these water companies, where they take a body of water and they filter it, and it becomes contaminated. The people are going to be drinking it, just like you see in other places where the water has become contaminated and people can't even drink the so-called drinking water, or the water that comes out of the tap. Let's look into this. Fracking won't work in UK, says founder of fracking company called Driller. Anti-UK fracking ban triggers backlash. And if you protest, because what's backlash? Protesting. What's going to happen to you then? Fracking for shale gas ban lifted by government in energy security drive. And if you look into what fracking is, I'm just going to quickly skim through this video. Let's see here.
This gas was likely formed around lies stores of once inaccessible natural gas. This gas was likely formed over millions of years as layers of decaying organisms were exposed to intense heat and pressure under the Earth's crust. It's out with a long vertical hole, known as a well bore, drilled down through layers of sediment. When the well reaches 2,500 to 3,000 meters, it's at its kickoff point, where it can begin the process of horizontal drilling. It turns 90 degrees and extends horizontally for about 1.5 kilometers through a compressed black layer called the shale rock formation. A special treatment and disposal of highly toxic wastewater can potentially contaminate drinking water around a fracking site. There's also concern about the threat of earthquakes and damaged infrastructure from pressure and wastewater injection. Links between fracking and increased seismic activity leave unresolved questions about long-term pressure imbalances that might be happening deep beneath our feet. Fracking's biggest controversy, though, is happening above the ground. The general consensus is that burning natural gas is better for.
I'll stop it. I'll leave the link in the video for this, because I still can't go over 15 minutes. But I'll leave it a link if you want to watch what it is. But it just basically that they're boring into the ground. You know, they're creating pressure underneath the ground. And what happens with pressure? I mean, if you blow air into a balloon, soon enough it's gonna pop. And that's basically what you're doing on the ground. Where is the pressure that you're creating on the ground gonna go? It's gonna cause earthquakes, seismic events, and all this kind of stuff. Plus you're releasing all these chemicals into the atmosphere. You're contaminating, underground water, or water reserves. You're contaminating the soil, so nothing can really grow there. and you're creating earthquakes as a result. And this is why, the scriptures say this. This is Matthew 22, 24. Sorry, I'll start at 20. Uh, I'll start at 19. And woe to them that with child, and to them that give suck in those days. But pray ye that your flight be not in winter, neither on the Sabbath day. For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, nor ever shall be. And except those days should be shortened, there should be no flesh be saved. But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. So clearly, the scriptures know this man has a vendetta, against the earth. Because this man's a real short thinker. You know what I mean? It's like somebody locks you up and they say, "I'll come and I'll let you out in 24 hours," and you're like, you know what? I can't wait 24 hours, so I'm gonna chop my hand off and I'm gonna walk out. You could have waited 24 hours. He let you out, but because you're so impatient, you end up causing irreversible damage because you can't wait a couple hours. This is what Esau's like, and I know that's a really brash analogy, but it is what this man does. Instead of having any level of patience, instead of doing things properly, he wants to just rush. He don't want to create renewable energy sources because it'll take too slow, and they're renewable, so you can't really make money off that. He wants to make money off these finite resources, because if you have a limited supply of something, you can make more money out of it. You know what I mean? If you have one diamond and 10 pieces of wood, what's worth more? What you have a finite number of is worth more. You know. So this is how this man thinks. Because all of this stuff is finite, he wants to make money off it. But in doing that, he's destroying the earth, and this is why the Lord said, if you don't come back, everything's gonna be destroyed. Because this man's an idiot, man. You know what? Just to even go off on a tangent, I work with an Edomite, and I know he a damn Edomite. Cause every single time I work, I don't even know why this guy there. Cause I do driving or whatever, and this guy's like a driver's mate. Every single time I'm in a vehicle with this guy wants to tell me he builds kitchen, he does this, and he's like, "Do you know how to do that? Do you know how to do it?" It's like he wants to show off how intelligent and smart he is, and he's asking me if I can do it, and I'm like, bro, just you're here with me, you're a driver's mate. He be sitting there backseat driving, telling me to do this, do that. This time my guy lost his license, you know what I mean? And I'm like, bro, like chill out, bro. I'm like, you want to drive? You can't drive. They took your license. You can't drive, but yet you want to tell me how to drive. And then they'll sit there, and when I really stuck it on him, he said, I'm trying to help you so it don't happen to you. I'm trying to make you a good man." So, and I'm like, bro, no, you ain't, man. You just trying to flex on me. You trying to show me that you're a boss. No one cares. This is how Esau is. He wants to be the boss of nothing. And even this is why the scriptures this is why the scriptures talk about humility. you know let me get that real quick. This is see, Esau could never be in the spirit, because it's not in Esau's spirit to be humble. He wants to be better than everybody, even though he's the basis of all people. I got this fat, smelly, big big belly idiot trying to tell me what's right. I mean, this guy's telling me, like, you're saying you're an engineer and you're a driver, mate, with me, working under me. You know what I mean? So if you're an engineer, you must understand maths. I seen this guy put a coffee on a dashboard, and I accelerate, and a coffee spill everywhere. And I knew it was gonna happen. I just looked at it. I just thought, why does this guy keep putting his coffee on the dashboard? He's gonna spill when I accelerate, and it did. No common. These people got no common sense. It says in Psalms 84:10, "For a day in thy courts is better than 1,000. I had rather be a doorkeeper in the house of my power than to dwell in the tents of wickedness." Now Esau would rather, Esau would rather be king of a shit pile than be a doorkeeper in the kingdom and have you have a house, you have food every day, you have a woman, but he'd rather be king of the shit pile. This is how stupid this man is. This is how prideful this man is. He's got no common sense. These Edomites, they got no common sense. Like, I swear, just dealing with Edomites is just maddening. You know what I mean? It's like just before I go, it's like they want me to do more work even though I don't get paid. I don't get paid for more work. So what am I gonna do? Am I gonna do 6 hours work or do 10 hours work and get paid the same? Go figure. All praises to the Most High, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, double honors to the elders and apostles of Demas, who well, shalom to the hopeful elect.